What's going on to all of my Capricorns? So you have the Queen of Cups, the Death card, the Magician, then you have the Eight of Wands, the Moon, the Ace of Swords, the Four of Swords, the Judgment, the Four of Wands, and the Eight of Swords. So what I'm seeing here for a lot of you Capricorns is you Capricorns happen to be in a situation where the Queen of Cups, the Death, the Magician represents this being a situation for you where a lot of you Capricorns are okay. The Queen of Cups, a lot of you, Queen of Cups, the Death card, the Magician, a lot of you Capricorns are done with, how do I say, the fake feelings, someone coming in, acting like they care so much about you, when in actuality, they're using that as a way to get you to lower your guard so that they can pull some nonsense, right? Because the Queen of Cups is a person that obviously, it just depends on the person and how it is that they're using what they have. Obviously, right? That goes for any zodiac sign, anybody, me, anyone. The Queen of Cups represents, just as it is I was talking about, it's based upon feelings and emotions and the difference of the two and how this person can use those feelings and emotions to ultimately get you into a situation where if you don't pay attention, if you don't watch out, what will happen is you will ultimately find yourself in a particular situation where a lot of you Capricorns will allow people to emotionally get you caught up, to emotionally have you on a string, right? To tug at your heartstrings. And the Death card and the Magician represents a lot of you Capricorns are starting to see that pattern, starting to see what I'm talking about. Excuse me, and a lot of you Capricorns are starting to realize that you're not going to allow even that type of person to act like they care about you when they really don't. Because see, a lot of you Capricorns now are starting to see what it is that I'm saying about how a lot of people are helplessly caught up in the game and that they don't know how to really let go of the game, even if some of them even tried, right? Because they're so caught up. The people have so many angles and different tricks and tactics instead of just being direct. And if they have an issue, come to you directly. If they have a question, ask the question, right? Essentially, nothing bad is going to happen per se, or they're not going to get reprimanded per se for asking the question. They think that there's some sort of game involved, right? And regardless of the who or the what, if there is a game involved, people who don't play games, who don't participate, who sees the game for what it is, and they learn to adapt, but they choose to not participate, those are people who usually defeat the people who are playing games in the first place. Because the people who are playing games, they're the ones that are tied to this gamble of the situation, right? This idea of, well, it's a coin toss of whatever it is that you're going to do, and that they're trying to bet on your let me tell you where the games come from. This is why it is I talked about how fame, right, i.e. attention, and how money is something that can be used. Because when it comes to using games and tactics, the three things that people get caught up with the most, that a lot of the people who now on the internet and just in relationships in general use, is attention, which is fame, money, right, or cash, just this large sum of cash, or love. And when people use those three things separately or in a combination, what you'll have is you'll have a lot of people get caught up. This is why it is that I say, don't even get caught up with the whole love bit. Don't even get caught up with the whole love bug. because people will say these things, I love you. People will say that they care about you to get you emotionally caught up. And a lot of you Capricorns, the Death and the Magician, this represents how a lot of you Capricorns are not allowing even someone to tell you that they love you, or they act like they care about you, to get you caught up, which is great. And the reason why it's great is because it doesn't mean that you Capricorns aren't into love. What it means is that you're not into the fake stuff. A person has to actually not just tell you, like I said before, and this is the wisdom of the Capricorn, you Capricorns, they have to show you. They have to actually not just, yes, they have to tell you, but they have to show you too. All of that only showing you but not telling you, that's a dub. You got to leave that alone. Why? Because a person may be coming with any kind of motive, ulterior motive, right? Something that they got going on, but they just trying to butter you up. Same thing if they're just telling you and not enough action. Okay, well, then they're just lying. So you can't trust them either way. And then the thing about it is, for you Capricorns, the Eight of Wands and the Moon represents how, so a lot of you Capricorns now are beginning to understand the different angles and the games that people will play. The Eight of Wands and the Moon represents, so now what? So now you Capricorns understand it from, you Capricorns are understanding it from the perspective of, now since this is the case, you Capricorns are like, okay, you know, how do I say this? Like how do I say this? How do I say this? Because there's a lot going on. You Capricorns are like, the Eight of Wands is about being direct about what you want. More so, especially with this reading, more so to yourself, right? You know what it is that you want to yourself. You're more clear on what you want, right? Which is real love, this, like that. But what games people play. And the Moon represents just that, right? Like you're more clear with yourself as to, and you're kind of shocked as to how many people rely on it. And it's the truth. A lot of people rely on games in order to get them into a relationship. That's the funny part. That's the delusional part. Somebody will do certain things to be disrespectful, but then they're trying to be in a relationship. Like, I'm going to go out of my way to tell the person that I can replace them and all of that, but I want them to be in a relationship with me. But this is the type of nonsense that people are thinking to themselves. And the situation with that is that this is where we are. This is where we are now. You know, so the thing is that the Ace of Swords now represents, the Ace of Swords and the Four of Swords now represents you Capricorns. You know that you're not going to be in a relationship with anybody who acts like this. The Four of Swords, like I said, they're going to have to put in some form of effort. They can't just be thinking that let me be more specific. They can't just think that the games that they play is going to inevitably work, because a lot more of you Capricorns are hip to the game now. And a person is going to be harder to play games with you if you are hip to it, if you are aware when someone is playing a game with you, when they're using with you. You understand what I'm saying? So, because part of the games is that you don't even know when a person is playing the game with you. But when you are more aware, now it's like, okay, why would I want to, you can see it now that someone is playing the game. So at the very least, you don't trust them to be open with you, because now it's like, I'm going to go ahead and stay by myself and wait at the very least to watch what happens. And that frustrates people who are playing a game, because now it's like, well, you don't quite know exactly what kind of game I'm playing enough to actually put a name to it just yet. But you are aware that I'm running the game, which is annoying to me. This is how they're thinking, right? And they're consciously aware of it, right? They are consciously aware that they are playing a game, right? Because now more people starting to come out and say that, right, about their observations with it. They are aware that they're playing a game. They are most definitely aware. So the judgment represents how a lot of you Capricorns, though, a lot of you are going to put a stop to that, because some of you Capricorns may even, find out as much about games as you possibly can. Like I said before, get the book Mind Control 101. That's an excellent book, because that book teaches you the games that people play, what they're named, the fact that there's only 101 games that's ever being played, and people just keep remixing it. It's never anything different past the 101. There's only 101. They'll forevermore only be 101, at least for now. But people only keep remixing this 101 games that people play, just over and over and over, remixing it, mixing and matching, and then they just hope that it works. And the Four of Wands and the Eight of Swords now represents. So what does this mean for the future? Okay, this means the Four of Wands, the Eight of Swords. You're not going to be so caught up with the looks. You're not going to be caught up and get caught off guard with the things that they say. You Capricorns are wiser now. So a lot of you Capricorns are going to sit back, watch, listen. You're going to be aware. You're going to see if the person tells you that they like you, shows you that they like you, the type of conversations that you and them have, what they say. Are they serious? That's another thing too, on how you know someone's playing with you. Are they serious in having a real conversations, right? Because you'll know when someone is playing a game with you when you're being serious with the conversation, but they're trying to make it lighter, and everything to them is like a joke. That's a dub. Everything should not be playing around. Even when they're using serious talk, are they talking too much? See, that's another game too. Are they talking too much? Because sometimes when someone is talking, if you become developed with this enough, and I'm not saying you Capricorns will or you won't, if you become developed enough, what happens is when someone is talking a particular way, where they're talking a little bit too much, to kind of put extras on it, to make the other person question themselves. And it's like, nah, you talking a little bit too much. I've learned how to see into that, to where when someone when someone is talking, it's like, nah, I'm going to continue to investigate. Instead of me backing up, no, I'm going to draw in closer and see what happens, because I'm prepared for whatever happens. I'm prepared for it to get ugly, And what I mean when I say get ugly, I mean the person not like me anymore and start having an issue. I'm prepared for that, So, let's clarify some of these cards. So let's clarify the Judgment. Okay. The Three of Swords, to clarify the Judgment, we have the Three of Swords, the Ace of Cups, Seven of Cups, Knight of Cups. So the Three of Swords represents how you're starting to realize that a lot of people are heartbroken. Very true. It's part of the reason why they play all these games in the first place. But a lot of people are heartbroken, and that they need the games to supplement what it is that they're missing, which is internal substance, character. They're missing a spiritual base. They're missing a healthy base, right? They're missing a family base. They're missing an appearance base. They're missing a dwelling space, because their dwelling may be on point, right? Their home looking real good, but their health and their appearance is at risk because they take a lot of plastic surgery because they're insecure. Or maybe they're in a situation where their family, their family is trash. They don't really get along with their family. They don't talk to their family. And because they come from a hard upbringing, this is why there's a lot of them need to play games, because they don't actually perceive themselves as really having love without trying to run game on people. The Ace of Cups, the Seven of Cups, and the Knight of Cups represents you don't have to feel remorse for that in that sense. What you, Capricorn, should be doing is understand the games that they play and just continue to move forward without them. Now let's look at it for the future. Let's clarify the Four of Wands. What's going on in the future for you, Capricorns? The Justice, the Seven of Wands, the Six of Wands, and the Three of Wands. So for the future, the Justice, right? The Seven of Wands, you will be able to see it clear now that you are aware of how much people rely on it. You're not going to be so suspicious of every single person, especially when it doesn't need to be. But as far as long term is concerned, but if a person, you find out you can't trust them because they're potentially working something, then a lot of you are not going to hang out with these people, the Justice. And that will be well deserved, because why are they trying to run game in the first place? And then you have the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Wands represents, and you're going to be very frustrating to people who try to run that on you. The Six of Wands and the Three of Wands is because that's part of the reason why they're playing so much games in the first place, is because they gotta, they may not look like it, but they got a lot riding on this. They got a lot, their heart is on this, because trust me, when you're not around, they're crying their eyes out. Three of Wands, but a lot of you Capricorns understand that you won't allow these people to goad you or bait you into getting what it is that they want without getting what you want. So you're going to continue to look without, having any kind of, malefic intent or hard feelings. The feelings are going to be, like water off of your shoulder. But at the same time, you're going to move forward with good graces anyway. Continue to have your head held high. So good for you, Capricorns. Y'all are really walking off with some dignity. Good stuff. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. I'm trying to make my YouTube channel grow to 10,000 subscribers by the end of June. As of right now, we have 6,400. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set that notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos.